Hello. For those of you who happen to like chocolate covered marshmallow, I love it. But I wasn't able to find any, even at Christmas and Easter when you used to get the old Santa Clauses and the old Easter bunnies. I just can't find them anymore that taste worth anything. So I make my own. And what I do is I start out with cage-free egg cartons. And I use this part here. And the reason is that allows you to fill the whole thing with chocolate. If you use this part, you can't do that. Like I said, I use 6 of them. The reason for that is my recipe for marshmallow fills 6 of these cartons. I guess you could adjust your recipe and do different amounts. So what I do is I melt the chocolate. I melt 11 ounces of chocolate. Choose your own chocolate. I happen to use the, I guess, semi-dark Ghirardelli 60. And I paint all the little egg pieces. What you have to be careful with is once you paint it, you let it cure, let it dry, then you have to go back and paint every little spot that you can see. I don't know if you can see through the light in this or not, or if any of it shows through. But if you don't paint those parts, then the marshmallow won't stick to it and you won't be able to get your product out. I'm going to stop this video right here, and the next process will be making a marshmallow, which I won't go into making it, but I will go into the end result of piping it into here. Thank you very much. I'll be back. Hello again. I've finished the second step. I mixed up a batch of marshmallow, and I use the Barefoot Contessa homemade marshmallow recipe. It's still on the internet. It makes enough more or less to fill all of my little pockets of my cartons. I say that because it depends on how much you can get out of your mixing bowl into the piping bag. I use an 18-inch piping bag. How much you put into each one of these little pockets. Now, you can have too little to fill all the pockets, in which case you can mix up some peanut butter and ground graham cracker. I do it kind of like a firm, not too firm a mixture, but enough to pack down into the little egg pockets. Or you can do something else, which is after the first step, you usually have chocolate left over, and what I do, I'll paint some graham crackers with it. And then if I have leftover marshmallow, well, I'll just pipe a little marshmallow on the graham crackers and make a little sandwich. Kind of end up with almost like a moon pie, but not quite. This is what the cartons are going to look like when you're through piping it. You can see different heights, different levels. Doesn't really much matter how much you want in there. The next step, I will melt some chocolate and I'll paint the tops of these. And that'll come up next. If you're wondering why I don't have the same color shirt on, I get a little messy with my marshmallow and I had to change shirts. Thank you. Hello, I finished the third step. I've melted some more milk chocolate, or some milk chocolate, and painted the tops. I used 10 ounces for this step, 11 ounces for the first step. When I first paint the things. You may want to use a little bit more because this gets right down to wiping the bowl clean just to get them covered. One thing I didn't bring up when I was about the piping of the marshmallow into the cups. When you're piping it and you lift the piping bag up, it leaves a little string of marshmallow in between each little cup. If you wait, what you have to do is wait until it cures a little bit and then break those little strings. Because if you don't break those little strings, when you go to take these out of the cups tomorrow morning or the next day, it'll be very difficult. So what I'm going to do now is let these cure, then I'll put them in the freezer overnight, and then tomorrow I'll pop them out and I'll show you how they look once I've done that. Thank you. It's a new day. I've got my chocolates out of the freezer. Well, what I'll do now is I'll kind of loosen them up a little bit, one at a time, and see if they'll pop out. Sometimes they do, easily like this one's doing. This is just lovely. And sometimes you don't. And this is what I end up with. It'll look very impressive. They're mighty good. What I'll do after I get all of them out, I'll put them in a bag and put them in the freezer, and I'll take out a few to keep them in the refrigerator. They're good at room temperature. They're wonderful out of the refrigerator. The reason I use these is I've tried the silicone before, and they have some silicone molds, and it sticks to it so well that I have a hard time getting them out. So that's why I use these, and that's why I put them in the freezer. I'll go ahead and finish these up. You really have to like chocolate covered marshmallow to go to all this trouble. It takes 30 minutes for the first step, 45 minutes for the second step, 30 minutes for the third step. And all it takes about 2.5 hours, and that includes cleanup. I take these and I clean them and I reuse them. And of course, if you're going to use egg cartons, clean them very well before you use them the first time. This is daunting. It's hard to do and it's easy to mess up. If you're not familiar with working with marshmallow, I suggest go ahead and just make some marshmallows and start with that and get comfortable with it. Along the way, you might make some chocolate covered graham crackers with some marshmallow on it. All kinds of things you can do with it. Let's see, did I have any? I made some notes of something I wanted to be sure to tell you. Oh, one thing, the brush that I use to brush these when I put the chocolate in, I use a silicone brush. Not the kind that has the hard plastic in the middle, but just a regular silicone brush. It does a very good job. I don't use any spray because I try to avoid as much oil as I can, and I don't know how well it would paint if it had spray in it. I don't know if chocolate would stick. And I guess that's about it. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please send them. Please keep them positive or productive. Thank you very much.